So yesterday we did the January 4th, 2021 this side. If you flip it over today, I know it says January 4th on it, but we're going to do this side. I should have put on two separate pages and I didn't. So together, group, individual. I'm going to do the together ones for you. I want to make sure you know how to do them, feel comfortable with them. And then we'll leave the group and individual for you today. So first one, I want to get the numbers together that don't have variables. That's called combining like terms, because you put the variables together, you put the ones without the variables together. So right here, I'm going to minus the 8. You might be tempted to add because of this, but you always look in front for the sign. Never look behind for the sign, always look in front. This is a positive 8, so it needs to become a minus 8. Minus 8 on this side gives me a negative t equals negative 33. Negative 25 minus 8 is negative 33. You'll notice this minus comes down and now it's a negative. Minuses and negatives are the same thing. The reason they look the same is because they literally are the same. So then we have to get rid of the negative. So I'm going to just divide by a negative. You could say negative 1 if it's helpful for you to think of it. And that gives you t equals 33. Now, for checking it, I'm going to replace the t with the 33. Does 8 minus 33 equal negative 25? Yes. So I did it correctly. Okay, second one. We've got a minus 5. I'm dividing. It's a short divide. So everything's not being divided by the 7, so I'm going to do with the 5 first. So a minus opposite minus 5 is to add 5. So I add 5 to both sides. 8 plus 5 is 13. And over negative 7 equals 13. I times by negative 7. If I do it on one side, I have to do it on the other. 13 times 7, times negative 7, excuse me, that was close, is negative 91 equals n. To check myself, I replace the n here with negative 91. So I do negative 91 divided by negative 7 minus 5 is 8. Therefore, I did it correctly. On this one, there's a couple approaches you can take on this one. I could add the 8 and 6 first. I could minus the 8 from both sides first. Honestly, there's more than one way to do a problem. Sometimes combining like terms is the fastest and sometimes it's not. In this case, I think minusing the 8 is going to be my best bet because that makes both of those go away. And so then I'm just left with 6 equals negative p. Now to get rid of that negative, I got to divide by it. So I divide by a negative 1. 6 divided by negative 1 is negative 6 equals p. Okay, number 10. We're going to want to distribute. 6 times m is 6m. 6 times 2 is minus 12 equals 12. So then I add 12 to both sides. Add 12 here, add 12 here. Minus 12 and plus 12 goes away, but 12 plus 12 is 24. So then I divide both sides by 6, and I get m equals 4. To check it, I take my calculator and I can type in 6 parentheses where the m is and replace it with 4. 4 minus 2 parentheses, and I get 12, which matches up with the 12 here, so I did it correctly. On this one, you're going to really want to combine first because you've got two variables. So anytime you have the variables, you've got to combine the variables. So 8 plus 2 is 10m, and 4 minus 14 is negative 10. So I combine the letters, combine the non-letters, divide both sides by 10, and I get negative 1 equals m. 8 times negative 1 plus 2 times negative 1 is negative 10. 4 minus 14 is negative 10, so it checks. Okay, on this one, we're going to want to combine like terms, the 2p, and you'll notice when I'm combining them, I always include the sign as well. So 2p plus 3p, the plus belongs here, that minus belongs to the 4. 2p plus 3p is 5p. The minus 4 can just come down, equals negative 9. So then I'm going to add 4 to both sides. 5p is equal to negative 5. divide by 5, and I get p equals -1. 2 times -1 minus 4 plus 3 times -1 gives me -9. So that checks out as well. All right. So key things I want you to look out for: distribute. When you have parentheses, distribute first. When you have multiple letters, combine like terms. When you have multiple constants, you can combine like terms, or you can move one over and then the other one over. It's your choice. You've got this. Good luck. Let me do just a couple more for you on this one. So on this one, it's asking you, it's saying, hey, look, here's some wrong stuff. Can you identify what they're doing wrong? Now, for a lot of students, the easiest way to find mistakes is just to do the problem correctly. So I come over here and I'm just going to redo the problem. -6t equals 30. Divide by -6. Covering up that one, divide by -6. I get t equals -5. Then after I know what the correct answer is, I look over and I say, what did they, oh, they didn't divide by the negative. And so I kind of cover up the work, I do the problem correctly, and I look back and say, oh yeah, that's what they did wrong. So let's look at this one. X plus 1 over 3 equals 2. We have a long divide here. Everything's being divided by 3. So our first step is going to be to times both sides by 3. Gives me x plus 1 equals 2 times 3 is 6. Minus the 1 from both sides. And I get x equals 5. Looking at what they did. Oh, they minus the 1 first. But you have to, everything's being divided by 3. So they minused first when they should have times by 3 first. So they times by 3 first because everything was being divided by 3. So you don't have to be super formal in your explanation of mistakes, but you do need to write down somewhat what they're doing. And you need to do 5 problems total on this one and finish this one. Okay, you got this.